Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, the 1st of September, and term starts in little over 36 hours. Here are today's notices. First of all, today's been a great day because for the first time ever, we've had our entire staff team together. We've more than doubled in staff size, and we've all been working really hard today. Various training sessions, getting lots of things ready. Say hello. This is Mrs. Fletcher-Dye, who some of you have met already, who's our new house mistress.
Hello.
And Mr. Hubbard, who you probably know, he's not so interesting, so we'll leave them to it. But you can see things are really starting to come together, and the sun has even come out. So I've got a few notices, a few more bits and pieces to tell you about before you arrive. First up, Mr. Boyles asked me to remind every student to make sure that they bring a book which they are reading with them. That means a suitable novel, a work of fiction. Please do have a reading book. We probably won't have much time for silent reading on the first day, but obviously some of our tutor sessions, not all of them, are given over to silent reading, so all of our students need to have a reading book. We have a limited selection in our library, but it's good to have your own so that you don't have to choose from there. Secondly, look, lovely new furniture in this room behind me. Doesn't it look nice? It's really starting to look and feel like a school. Not that it didn't last year, but it's definitely getting better. Let's have a little trip upstairs into Brunel Herschel, the boys' boarding house, so that particularly our new boarders can get a sense of where they're going to be living. Just whizzing up the stairs. So, looking nice in here, bright and airy, some new furniture, some of the older stuff as well, pool tables in there, and the rooms are looking fantastic. Oh, nice new bar stools as well. So it's looking really nice in here, and the girls' boarding house is looking even better. So, boys, those of you who are new, this is where you're going to be living. Most of you have probably visited before, but it's looking nice, and I hope you are as excited as we are. What other notes, what other things do I need to tell you about? Yeah, a change for next year. This room I'm stood in now, this common room down here. You'll remember last year at break and lunchtime, I spent a lot of time telling everybody to get out of the buildings. Get out, get out, get out, because we need fresh air at break and lunchtime. Thank you ever so much. Say hello, sir. This is Mr. McCauley, who's a new PE teacher. Some of you may have met him already. Just wondering, I see all the staff are working really hard. Those common room areas last year were places that I threw you out of at break and lunchtime that you weren't allowed in. Well, we are making a change for next year, and some of you will be happy about this, some of you will be less happy. However, the downstairs common room areas in both buildings, in Brunel Herschel and Milton Fawcett, are going to be Key Stage 4 common rooms. So that means next year, year 10, you will be able to use them at break time and lunchtime, and in future years, all year 10s and 11s will be allowed to use those areas at break time and lunchtime. So it's a privilege for all the students. In poor weather, all students will be allowed to go in, but I will decide when the weather's poor, not you. But yeah, so those are year 10 common rooms, Key Stage 4 common rooms. I'm going to talk to you more about how you get into buildings and how we use the buildings, because with more students on site, we need to control the way we move through corridors. So there will be a few changes to that kind of thing. But I'm just trying to prepare you with a few bits and pieces. We're heading over now to Milton Fawcett, which is a building we barely used last year, and all of a sudden now in this building we've got art, we've got music as we had before, but lots more of it. We've also got all of our humanities, so our history and geography are now in this building. Let's go on, and if I can get in the door and see who else we can find. Let's have a quick look. Look, music, I hear music, and there is Mrs. Bryant, who is our new head of performing arts, who is absolutely mortified that we've caught her in the act. Let's go and say hello to Mrs. Bryant. Say hello, Mrs. Bryant.
Hello.
You'll be seeing lots more of her in the Daily Notices, and we're going to wander on down to the art room and see if we can find Miss Loudon. You'll see this place is really coming together. This art room looks absolutely fantastic. She won't thank me for this. Oh, there's Mr. Griffin as well. So this is Miss Loudon and Mr. Griffin, who most of you already know. Art room's looking amazing. I'll leave them to it because they're very busy people. But yeah, you will see it's coming together. Moving through here, this is our other Key Stage 4 common room. And we will say hello, just very briefly, to Mr. Fletcher-Dye, who is Mrs. Fletcher-Dye's husband. We met Mrs. Fletcher-Dye just now. And this is Miss North, who is one of our resident fellows. Look at me, I'm getting everybody's name right as well. This is genius. And we're going to come down this corridor here, which is towards history with Miss Gardner. Say hello, Miss Gardner.
Hi.
And then Miss Lunny in geography, and this is Mrs. Ellis, who's our new maths teacher. Familiar faces and new faces all in the same rooms. There is lots going on, and I'm showing you this so that you can be as excited about it as I am. Couple more bits and pieces. One more thing I would really like all of you to know, because this will be a big change for some people, is changing rooms. Our changing rooms were getting cozy, and we have lots more students next year. So we have created a new boys' changing room until such time as we have a more long-term solution for changing rooms. So I'm now walking past the entrance to the refectory where you're going to have your lunch. That's Brunel Herschel over there. We've got the backfield over here, and you'll notice these windows here on this building have now been whited out so you can't see through them. If we come around the corner here, oh, the door's closed, we can't go in. But this door here, that's the boys' changing room in there. So boys, when you're changing, you're going to go here. That means girls, you can use both of the changing rooms in the sports hall. They are both girls' changing rooms. So boys, you don't go in the changing rooms in the sports hall. Girls, you don't go in this room here. Not I imagine that you would particularly want to. So let's, taking advantage of the fine weather, let's go and see if we can find Mrs. Dawson, who is always hard at work in her lab. Here we go. Is Mrs. Dawson at home? Is Mrs. Dawson at home? There's Mrs. Dawson. Say hello, Mrs. Dawson.
Hello, Mrs. Dawson.
Indeed. So Mrs. Dawson's lab stays the same, and then we're going to come down this corridor here because we're now not just using one of our science labs, but we're using 3 of our science labs. We'll have a quick look who else is here. It's Mrs. Belvin. Say hello, Mrs. Belvin.
Hello.
Mrs. Belvin is our new, you're the physicist, aren't you? Physics teacher. Exactly right. So we'll be teaching lots of you both science and physics at GCSE. And let's see also if we can find Miss Brown, who's going to try and hide from us. This is Miss Brown, who's another new science teacher. So hello, Miss Brown. There we go. So I think that's not bad for 5 minutes, getting around nearly the entire school. We've met lots of new people. There is more to come. I look forward to seeing our boarders tomorrow evening. I look forward to seeing all of our day students on Thursday morning. Don't forget that on Thursday morning, day students, get here, be on the AstroTurf for 8:30. You'll hear me ring my little bell. You'll be assigned to your tutor groups, which, don't forget, next year are all changed from last year because your tutor groups will have a number of students from every year group in, and we will then organise our day from there. Don't forget your reading book. Have a great afternoon. I really am excited. I will see you soon. Take care.